Hey Jessica, how you doing? All right, absolutely. Of course, I'm more than happy to give you some final feedback. Okay, so this was posted at 6:19, and we're very, very early on Sunday morning. So I think you'll get this in time to make your final changes. So that's cool, right? All right, let's go ahead. I went ahead and fixed some of the issues, and I know. Oh, watch your spelling. Nobel. You got it. You got it right here. I think that was just a mistype. So it's Nobel, just to be sure, right? I was wondering if I can get some feedback before I turned it on Sunday. I also played around with the alignment, and the text box is the top part of the timeline. The alignment on the text box is on the top part of the timeline, although I prefer left alignment. I agree. I agree. The left alignment is much more effective, and the reason being, um, here real quick, I don't have the right alignment open, but the reason the left alignment is more effective is because you've got left alignment established in the bio paragraph. So to throw right alignment at the top and then back to left alignment at the bottom, it's too much. Basically, it comes down to saccadic movements. It comes to how the eye shifts. And we don't want to create any kind of uncomfortable situation for the reader. And we also want to really, really solidify harmony. And consistency is the best way to do that. So, in short, my recommendation is to keep your timeline left aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and close this align right, and we'll just concentrate on your left align. Sound good? All right, let's go ahead and take a look. First of all, again, I know I keep saying this, I sound like a broken record, but the concept is a home run all day long. This is heavy, heavy concept. Very nicely done. Um, as far as the type itself goes, your type looks great, definitely. Your borderline right here, your borderline two columns, you probably could get away with two columns. So optimal character count is, in general, is anywhere between 50 and 70 characters. Many designers think the number 66 is optimal for the character count for individual lines of text. That character count includes all of the letters, all of the spaces, and all of the punctuation in a line. Okay, so if you count that up, you should be between, I'm going to say 50 and 70. Okay, you're borderline here. You're probably a little bit over, which means you can perfectly get away with a second column of type. At this point, I'm going to say I haven't counted your character count, but go ahead and count it. If you're much above 70, you might consider a second. It's really, at this point, I think it's a designer's choice. I don't think this is critically long. I don't think that the text is long enough that it's going to create fatigue from the viewer from having to go to this long distance from the last line any more than these 6 lines. And I would definitely request or recommend, I should say, 2 lines of type. I'm sorry, 2 columns of type. Okay, other than that, my only other compositional, I know I've gone through the type, right? Everything short story writer. I'm just looking through really quick. Oh, you know what? That should be in 1953, not on 1953. So, unique writing style. In 1953, he was awarded the Nobel Prize for Literature. Sadly, he died in 1961, not on 1961, but will always be remembered. That's nitpicking, but you definitely, I think that we want to change that to proper tense. Um, Died in 1961, not on 1961. And then writing style in 1953 as opposed to on 1953. My only other recommendation is let's go ahead and jump in to the type and the timeline. Looks good. Good job avoiding widows. Excellent, excellent. Look, right here, see these breaks with the quote marks? You can just remove those quote marks and place the name of the book in italics. Definitely, yeah, that'll definitely work. Other than that, I think we're looking good. Rags are a little tough, but that's okay because of this is such a short line of type. This is going to get cleaned up quite a bit, though, when you remove those quotes and add italics instead. That's really going to clean that up. You may even be able to go in there and adjust those rags. So keep that in mind. I would say the rags and the timeline are probably, this is in need of adjustment. So try see if you can adjust those when you're done transposing that from quotes to italics. Looking great. Yeah, you don't want that angle right there. Definitely either, you know what would work just perfect here? Just drop 2 down to the other line. That might drop, work it out, work it out. I'm starting to see a few different possibilities. So work that out with your techniques for kerning from the video. Okay, my only other and final recommendation is this. So right now the timeline has this big negative space right here, and enough that you could fit your align left big arrow in there, right? So my recommendation is this: is let's transpose the bottom of the timeline for the top of the timeline. So we're starting in 1899 on top, then going down to 1917 on the bottom, up to 1918 on the top, down to 1920. So we're going to take this information, place it on the bottom, take in this information, place it on the top. It's going to do 2 things. It's going to keep the first year of the timeline is on top at the left where we would expect it to be, right? Then you go first entry, second entry, third entry, and then keep doing that all the way until the last entry is on the top, which would point to consistency as the first entry is on the top. Do you see what I'm saying? So plus it's going to eliminate this big negative space right here. You are going to end up with a space right here at the bottom of the timeline, but that's okay. I would prefer it to be at the bottom of the timeline than at the top, because right now this negative space right here is creating a little bit of kind of unusual shape right here, this kind of rectangle right here. So I think it would probably be a little more effective to transpose those. See if you like it, see how it works out. I think it's going to work out beautifully. So try it. Let me know what you think. Okay, fantastic. Great job. Love the work. And I certainly appreciate all of your hard work. Oh, and by the way, I am. This is where the broken record comes in, right? But I do want to remind you to take that course survey if you haven't done so already. Really super important stuff. So, all right, Jessica, thank you very much. If you have any questions at all, if I can provide any clarification on the comments I just made in the last 8 minutes or so, let me know. I'll be glad to do so. All right, great job. Thanks, Jessica.